They need to tie it up with 2. But they also need to be there with the frags. Wait a minute, VP. We're not even just over a minute into the game. Lou's already dead. We've still got a different fight in a different position altogether.
And again, a lot of teams taking their time here. No one wants to rush it, make any last-minute fumbles or mistakes. Smash quietly watching as they go on. Will he pull the trigger? Yes, he does. Lovely shots from Smash. Just needed one more, really, but evasive maneuvers. Look, Finns are quite good drivers. I'll give them that. So you may not get it. Oh, the return fire from Diggory. Just a little reminder of like, hey, bud, don't be sitting there tapping away. No. Get out of it. So ENCE will make it through. It might have to split them up a second and maybe get a little bit of a heal going on, get everything fixed back up in case there are further problems, but maybe it's getting another vehicle as well. So that could be the case. VP coming on in similar route to Exhalation. And Liquid will be the one kind of on the horizon if they continue this route.
Does Fuzz face the Exhalation waiting in the buildings? I said this with the team that could potentially try and do something to one of these two. Or I didn't, I said actually QM, but far cry from a bridge camp, but a decent compound nonetheless. Circle sends us up towards the north. Heroic's already in vehicles and fully sending it. Vanir begins to work off the hospital. SMB, same position, same kind of idea, where in the vehicles, taking it slowly from the blue. This does give another potential risk for FaZe as they are transferring up that eastern side of the circle. Heroic, what's the game plan? Where do you want to get set up here? They're taking a peek towards the small houses just outside. And Vrol's hoping that there is a place to call home, but it's 4 angry Finns within there. No, Heroic, what do? You've got a battle on all fronts. They might even look either towards, I don't know, the satellite dish up on the hillside or the buildings that they're just next to. There's like 3 little houses stacked together. There's just no respite for them at all with this level of playing field. So they've gone up towards the satellite dish. That's totally fine. We can work with that. It's not exactly a bad position whatsoever when you look at it. It's not quite center, but it's certainly not far off by any means. VP playing with 3, have to keep continuing up. It comes down to BatulinS to try and hold the line on the top. Goes for the wiggle, gets the headshot. He's not knocked just yet, but Spyro comes in to finish the deal.
Bloomin' hell, VP. Now, I do want to highlight something, though. BBL and Galacticos are actually in quite good positions here. And they're currently sat in 3rd and 4th. But positioning-wise, if it goes, like, let's say, northeast, BBL get the better side of the coin. Adusi's just been found by Qwizzy. Now, we know that Na'Vi loves to dethrone anyone who's leading the way. They'll happily lean in towards it, but they needed a game and they needed a win. This could be, I don't want to say one to do it, it's just a knock, but this could be a chance for them. But yeah, Galacticos on the more southern side, I guess you could say, of the circle. So whichever way it goes, I feel as though one of these two teams will benefit, and they're the ones that are really hot in the chase. But what a curious scenario, especially in the south. And we did see Heroic get a little too close to DA here, Rich. They're getting right next to them.
Oh, this is kind of cruel, because you only got TM. If you want to try and wrap it down south, they'll be able to get full viewership on this from the quarry side.
They are in a real fighting chance. BBL is still in, but a little on the outskirts now, with Gatka Fields being where they're at, and it gets harder to revert or kind of like transfer away from there. Vanir, probably have to bring themselves together. No chance for a 2-2 split in this. Radar has been taken, or the little hillside has been taken. Speaking of being taken, it's going to be Perfectix taking SMB's life. Apocalypse trying to get a little too far ahead of himself. You can already see BatulinS still having a little drive around, having a look to see what else is going on here potentially. Is actually Na'Vi are being crept up on. Look at Qwizzy right next towards Fate.
Spotted instantly. Qwizzy leans in for it, but oh my word, Fate's there to respond in kind. That is a sick shot. 25 HP and the overpeak comes through. That's exactly what he needed, but look at the damage that's been done to Aduzi. A response is their example. Hands one back off, and alya goes for Faultlessly, just in the distance, cresting the ridgeline. The panic stations kind of shows you this is what it means to these players to be able to keep people on the toes. They're not looking for the fight here. They're looking for the res, but his teammate's fallen if he finds him just around the corner. This is going to spell disaster for QM. He's going to have to Faultlessly. Faultlessly steps up again. He is doing the dirty and holding back Na'Vi.
That is a easier said than done sort of situation, and alya has to bow down to this and accept that CodeMarco are bringing the A game as best they can. They will be getting the res, I believe. They should be back up to 4. It's just their next step is not going to be an easy one, but at least we'll be into the circle better than at least how Na'Vi is left. Not looking likely to get that first dinner under the belt this time around. Middle of the open, Jeemzz just popping shots off, playing the Potter Tower. And, well, he could live somewhere in this ground, I guess. Just try and hit the deck and stay somewhere near the vehicle. Yeah, pull it up. Now, let's see. BBL or Galacticos? Which way does this go? I mean, it could go up towards Heroic, I guess. Oh, it does. It really does. Okay, Galacticos will now be in towards the woods. Na'Vi's remainder. Alya, not great. Liquid can rejoin with the others. That'll be okay. They can go towards Jeemzz and Clib. TM pretty far out. I think we saw the CodeMarco were only on foot. FaZe have the open fields in front of them. So there's no niceties over here. It's kind of a little bit of the swampy area where DA are. And then that leads out towards more where, I guess, Hall of Game and Heroic currently reside.
Final player from Na'Vi. And the last ditch attempt to try and do something. Any points at this point is good, but with a one-man army. Oy, oy, oy. Na'Vi, bit of a fall from grace from last weekend. 10th position at the moment, 54 frags on the board. It's still good. It's up there with the best of them, but no win comes through this time. Clib's lurking on this hillside. FaZe is just living in their shadow currently. BBL, not too dissimilar flight path as they do just come through, and they'll take the small dip through the middle of this. Yeah, Liquid have absolutely spotted FaZe Clan. If they neck one of these players and get a read on who's lurking down there, they will probably push the advantage. Cargo's up in the air, but no targets are found. Look at mxey. What's his train of thought here? He's overextending. Does that mean he tries to get a deeper angle to peek in the backside of FaZe Clan? Schofield onto BBL. Metralius gets a face full from him. Meanwhile, SMB, Rip9, Huth, and Lazar trying to just weed out Uri in the building side. Dante caught in the open field. That's not good. QM going for a full-blown run up against it. Out of the vehicle, down we go, but vehicle will tag him up. Easy trade-off there for mxey in the distance, and fate has arrived, but sadly, it is not looking too good for QM whatsoever. One player left standing. Tokyo Manji out in the field. There's open water at the moment. It's shooting day. Thoughtlessly just like, no, this is it. Bow down. Number 1 spot goes out in 15th.
Okay, I guess the gateway is now open, but the jump up would be unreal. FaZe would have to get the win, basically, to do it, because the kills ain't going to be enough. So, at this point, though, we look beyond that. There's plenty more on the line for some of these teams trying to fight for their way forward in other ways. And, oh, another team goes into the blender. mxey is just farming right now. More bodies added to the pile. Ooh, overextending there a little. mxey, careful now. Head down. There it is. Try and work off the more attention being drawn elsewhere. Jeemzz sprays in wildly, does get what he wants. There's still one alive. There we go. Tokyo now gone as well, down in 14th. This is where everything has just busted open. Thunderlost actually got a little bit of a glimpse of this, and Fuzzface ain't far away now. So it's going to be Galacticos, Liquid, and FaZe all together. That's Lyron doing great work towards mxey. Galacticos trying to work their way up here. Jeemzz in the vehicle, going to get out of dodge. Try and play to them for another day. Not going to be allowed. Found by Aitzy. Put to bed. And now FaZe and Galacticos, you're going to battle it out here.
I feel like they've committed to this. There's nowhere else they can go, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Heroic? What in the world just happened? Is this a full-blown breach from Gear Up? They're pushing in and they're getting killed left, right, and center. Hall of Games also there. SMB is wandering directly this way. This is a bit of a mad scramble up to the radar dish. This is pure and utter carnage. Do not forget about that. Thank you, observers. Do not forget about this fight. This is a big one. Galacticos kind of committed to the cause on this third party, and with the circle shift, really there's no easy way out of it for either of these teams. A retreat, I mean, in my opinion, doesn't feel viable. You have to fight this one out. Aitzy will spot 2 on his left-hand side, goes for the first. Gets the damage done, has to hit the deck. Honor's there to hold him. Dead to rights. Gustav on with the second. A much deeper angle as well. Aitzy still keeps going, goes for a lean, but Honor's there to respond in kind. His teammates are falling all around him, and now they're trying to collapse the last stand. Thunderlost, how many can you take with you, though?
None. 0. FaZe will keep 4 alive. No one close enough to pressure them anymore. They get the entryway from the southern side, and now we look towards the north, unresolved and somewhat unrelenting. The code on the screen, if you're just listening in now, grab it while it's there. And BBL, though, aren't going unnoted. Vard's actually found one of them. I don't see a flush coming in just yet, as DA have their own problems, considering they're just getting that res back up. You can see that very low HP there. So that's going to be dealt with. That's Jembty waiting to get that heal going on. But this is going to get so busy in that northwest Hall of Game gear up, as we've seen Heroic sharing that one out over towards the swamp side of things, which is the exit. SMB have Vanir off towards the kind of main road side if they swung up, which I doubt they're going to do, or they run through this. SMB going to be looking towards Hall of Game, but it's actually Vanir to be looking right back towards the moment with the spray. There it is. Finds Rip 9 and puts down SMB's chances here. And this is just, I've got to say, if FaZe can keep their heads down, this isn't paying off too badly for them right now. This could work out well.
Wants to get involved here, and honestly, I don't see why not. Committed all the utilities, so it should be a bit of a free-for-all inside. It's going to be messy no matter which way we cut it. The Blues already here. Vanir's watching all of this. DA have spread out and set up the gun turrets, ready to receive. He just comes out on fire. That's two of them lined up for Qwizzy, and now he needs to keep going. Gear up, down. T-Bone, Qwizzy go off. mxey still alive and kicking, so they have to be careful. But you can see from Qwizzy's health how much damage the Blues doing. Heroic eliminated. Xiong to put the final nail in the coffin and deliver their fate. PiXeL has spotted FaZe Clan. They have room to move here, but the further you go into the circle and the deeper, the more open and exposed it can get. That's a field. That is a field that we are going to. That is a death sentence right now for all of these teams.
It may not be the funky circle that the desk were hoping for, but it's certainly going to prove a lot of problems here. And a lot of these teams have already been in fights, so they've already cycled through a fair amount of their smokes. I don't think anyone's coming out completely unscathed here. Maybe ENCE a little quieter than others, but still. When he's found, Hall of Game go down. DA keep 4 alive and continue to build. Not quite in the position to push FaZe. They're only on 31 kills and obviously only 1 win. But now Virtus.pro, what's left? 3 over towards the north, but it's that next step, Rich. We've said it. This is a little bit of terrain in play, I'll say that much, but it ain't a great deal. And with ENCE already taking a large portion of that southeastern side, I don't know where the rest of the teams go. They're funneled in. They're forced into pretty dire spots. Good spray and good connection, though, coming out from Spyro there. The support of BatulinS. As Vanir trying to make any option, any feasible choice that could keep them alive for a second longer, but you can see Spyro and the boys out trying to work against them.
They've got to keep
Bloody
going.
hell,
With shots
Gustav.
like that, it's going to pay absolute dividends. Just hiding behind a mere hay bale. It's going to be nothing for Aitzy. He keeps going onto this phase. They're absolutely feeling it, and they've got room to do so. Good old nade. Onto Flamey and Yellow will go down. BatulinS and Spyro get the job done to the side of Vanir. Comes down to York. 4 HP, and really nothing he can do about this, even if the grenade just tickles him. It would spell disaster. Speaking of disaster,
BBL?
Smash, Metralius. The vehicle's gone up in a ball of flames, and Mert falls victim as well. FaZe Clan, 5 kills come through. BBL go down.
Okay, FaZe is still in this. They could still slot themselves into first. We said they were in actually quite a good position coming in from the south. The next move is the tough one, but they're trying to outlive the others. DA still have 4 alive and plenty of boxes to refill the goodies, maybe get some new helmets, get some new vests, because Aitzy is looking this way. If he catches just a whiff of someone, a little bit of a glimpse, it'd be all his. Infex playing patient, trying to keep track of those 2 ENCE players, split from the others. Diggory a little further ahead. You can see the smokes in hand. He's preparing for that next step. And it's kind of 3 teams on the left, 1 on the right, which does funnel attention because the way the terrain works, Rich, there's a bit of a divider here, right? The way the topography works, with the hills in between, they can't quite see each other. Well, FaZe might get a glimpse on DA, maybe, but it's probably all eyes on ENCE.
Well, all of these teams have got at least 1 win on the board, and a lot can change. DA with the lowest amount of kills, but still, 2 would jump them directly into 3rd. I mean, even, hell, ENCE VP still within touching distance of more than jumping FaZe Clan, but FaZe can win it all. Last week, they were just pushed out at the final hurdle, at the finishing posts by Na'Vi. What a turn of situation it would be if they can answer back. I mean, for FaZe, the only way is up, right? From a second, you'd have to get a first to claim it. And these boys have won majors before, back-to-back champions. They're, you know, it's been a while since we've seen them grab a trophy, but it's absolutely not out the realms of possibility. This is FaZe nonetheless, and they have 4 players standing. But, they don't have much room to play with. They need to create that room themselves. VP's in the opposite side, holding back DA. DA kind of has the better amount of land here. They're the ones that can pepper, but look at that. The second they move into a position, they are out of DA's vision altogether.
I think VP can still see a little bit because of the high ground, but not much. And VP have to move themselves. So FaZe might have found somewhere, which is more than the rest can say. Let's see what VP have in store. A couple of deep smokes coming out, trying to maybe give them a little bit of cover on the move up here. There's that high ground working out for BatulinS. FaZe were really hoping that was not going to come into play, that he'd move himself prior, but he's not. He's sticking around. He's hanging around as long as he can to try and do this amount of pressure. Aitzy was quite the instigator too. 5 kills already, and BatulinS is staying on foot. Did DA even expect this? All the attention going FaZe's way. Aitzy will lose his life for it. There come the nades, and here comes the return fire. Vex will not let this go unanswered, and there's the nades, and it's actually on a bit of both. BatulinS down, Vard down, and now FaZe need to put their heads down.
If DA and VP kick it off, which it appears like they are doing, this just pays off so much. No! Pussface down, Jembty spots him and lays him to rest. This is starting to get a little bit sketchy for FaZe. They're in no man's land, and every single team has full eyes on them. Diggery is just hoping they show some sign of life, and they are forced to move yet again. Good nade goes over. Will any of them... Oh, look at the damage. Look at how much damage. DA is just scared to death. BatulinS gets 2 of them. Spyrro goes in with a 3rd. Jembty, last man standing. They could probably press this, to be fair, and absolutely demolish them.
If VP clean these kills, they convert it to a win. They can jump. I'm pretty sure they can jump FaZe here pretty comfortably, and they are looking like they want to. FaZe are trying to hold on to this. Oh! Diggery lets off a nuke. It finds target. It finds what it needed. And now we are down to 2. Virtus.pro with 3 alive and 2 for ENCE. Virtus.pro refusing to relent, still bringing the A game at all occasions. But ENCE, the Finns on the other side, both in a fight for this. Look at the amount of kills coming out for ENCE as well. They are both in a battle to try and leap that scoreboard, to put FaZe down, to really take themselves to the best position possible. And he's trying to get any utility he can, anything left over. No more smokes to be had, though. It's all been used, Rich.
There's nothing else they can really do but hit and hope. This will come down to as much individual gun skill as you can muster.
Winner takes second here, Rich. Whoever wins this should take second.
In theory, yeah. Whichever way we're kind of looking at it. And honestly, if for VP to win this would be just a massive, massive show of hand. I mean, the one game that they did win was day number 1. They also lost a player off the back. To win the start of this weekend with 3 players, to also end this weekend with 3 players, would be nothing short of a miracle. ENCE, however, 2 wins in a day. They are looking to answer back from some of the weaker performances. Not poor, but weaker performances and weaker show of hands. If they get this second one, the Finns are well and truly back on top.
Here come the nades. Here comes the first contact. Perfectix receives more than he gives. Tiikzu will claim it. And now the advantage sits with ENCE. But there's the trade out. Spyrro unrelenting. No way! Does Spyrro find Tiikzu there? He's just spraying in. He's got 1 molly left. And it's all on Squeaky in a 1v2 against arguably the best team in the world right now. As they have proved time and time again how diligently they can play. Squeaky has to bow. And Virtus